Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago, and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches Kisan Suryodaya Yojana in Gujarat for daytime power supply for irrigation, asserts the need to adopt the mantra of per drop more crop. Prime Minister also inaugurates country's biggest cardiac hospital in Ahmedabad and world's longest temple ropeway at Junagadh in Girnar. Government approves setting up of 47 additional ITBP outposts to step up vigil along the border. Campaigning for the first phase of Bihar Assembly elections reaches a feverish pitch. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 89.78%. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on occasion of Maha Ashtami. And in IPL, Kolkata Knight Riders and Delhi Capitals to clash in Abu Dhabi at 3:30 p.m. and Kings 11 Punjab to take on Sunrisers Hyderabad at 7:30 p.m. in Dubai. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of caution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today virtually launched 3 key projects in Gujarat. Mr. Modi launched the Kisan Suryodaya Yojana for the farmers of Gir, Somnath, Patan and Dahod districts, which will provide daytime power supply to farmers for irrigation. He also inaugurated India's biggest cardiac hospital, UN Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Centre at Civil Hospital campus in Ahmedabad. The Prime Minister also launched the Girnar Hill Ropeway project in Junagadh. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said the Kisan Suryodaya Yojana starting from Junagadh, Gir Somnath will bring a new dawn in the lives of farmers. He said in the coming days, the scheme will be implemented in more than 1,000 villages and will make the everyday life of millions of farmers easier.
मुझे खुशी है कि किसान सूर्योदय योजना के माध्यम से गुजरात फिर एक नई पहल के साथ सामने आया है। सुजलाम सुफलाम और सौनी योजना के बाद अब सूर्योदय योजना गुजरात के किसानों के लिए मील का पत्थर साबित होगी। किसान सूर्योदय योजना में सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता गुजरात के किसानों की आवश्यकता को दी गई है।
The Prime Minister said, we have to adopt the mantra of per drop more crop, and through this way, the farmers will be able to arrange micro-irrigation by getting electricity during the day.
किसान सर्वोदय योजना न सिर्फ राज्य के किसानों को सुरक्षा देगी, बल्कि उनके जीवन में नया सवेरा भी लाएगी। किसानों को रात के बजाय जब सुबह सूर्योदय से लेकर के रात 9 बजे के दौरान 3 फेज बिजली मिलेगी, तो यह नया सवेरा ही तो है। मैं गुजरात सरकार को इस बात के लिए भी बधाई दूंगा कि बाकी व्यवस्थाओं को प्रभावित किए बिना ट्रांसमिशन की बिल्कुल नई कैपेसिटी तैयार करके ये काम किया जा रहा है। इस योजना के तहत अगले 2-3 वर्षों में लगभग 3,500 सर्किट किलोमीटर नई ट्रांसमिशन लाइनों को बिछाने का काम किया जाएगा।
The Prime Minister said that work is being done in the country to make farmers from Annadata or food givers to Urja Data or energy givers.
देश में आज अन्नदाता को ऊर्जा दाता भी बनाने के लिए काम किया जा रहा है। कुसुम योजना के तहत किसानों, किसान उत्पादक संघ, एफपीओस, कोऑपरेटिव्स, पंचायतों, ऐसे हर संस्थानों को बंजर जमीन पर छोटे छोटे सोलर प्लांट लगाने में सहायता दी जा रही है। देश भर के लाखों किसानों के सोलर पंपों को भी ग्रिड से जोड़ा जा रहा है। इससे जो बिजली खेतों में पैदा होगी, उसको किसान जरूरत के हिसाब से अपनी सिंचाई के लिए उपयोग कर पाएंगे और अतिरिक्त बिजली को बेच भी पाएंगे।
The Prime Minister said, Gujarat is the pioneer state in solar power projects. He said that a strong foundation for the scheme was laid in the form of the revolutionary work done in the power sector in Gujarat over the last 2 decades. The Prime Minister asserted the need to adopt the mantra of per drop more crop, and through this, farmers will be able to arrange micro-irrigation by getting electricity during the day.
जब आज गुजरात में किसान सर्वोदय योजना शुरू हो रही है, तो सभी को अपना एक प्राण, एक मंत्र फिर दोहराना है. ये मंत्र है पर ड्रॉप मोर क्रॉप का. जब किसानों को दिन में बिजली मिलेगी, तो हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा पानी बचाने पर भी उतना ही जोर देना है.
The Prime Minister said, today, UN Mehta is one of the largest cardiac hospitals in India. He said efforts are being made to connect every village with better health facilities. Mr. Modi said, under Ayushman Bharat, 21 lakh people from Gujarat have received treatment. Prime Minister Modi also dedicated country's biggest cardiac hospital at UN Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Centre at Civil Hospital campus in Ahmedabad. The new facilities have been set up at the cost of 470 crore rupees, which has increased the existing 450 beds to 1,251 beds, 531 cardiac ICU beds, 15 cardiac modular operation theatres, and 6 cardiac cath labs. Mr. Modi said efforts are being made to connect every village with better health facilities. He said under Ayushman Bharat, 21 lakh people from Gujarat have received treatment.
बीते 6 सालों में देश में स्वास्थ्य सेवा से जुड़ी योजनाएं शुरू हुई हैं. उनका भी लाभ गुजरात को मिल रहा है. आयुष्मान भारत योजना के तहत गुजरात के 21 लाख लोगों को मुफ्त इलाज मिला है. सस्ती दवाइयां देने वाले 525 से ज्यादा जन औषधि केंद्र गुजरात में खुल चुके हैं. इसमें से लगभग 100 करोड़ रुपए की बचत गुजरात के सामान्य मरीजों को हुई है.
The Prime Minister also launched the world's longest temple ropeway project at Girnar in Junagadh. The 130 crore rupee project will attract more tourists and pilgrims to this historical place, which will boost employment opportunities. The Girnar ropeway project consists of a total of 25 cabins and is 2.3 kilometers long and 900 meters high. It operates at a capacity of 800 passengers per hour and 8,000 per day. During the e-launch, the Prime Minister appealed to the people in Gujarat to wear masks, maintain social distance and wash hands. Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani and Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel also participated in the e-launching programs.
The government has given consent to Indo-Tibetan Border Police ITBP to set up 47 additional border outposts to step up vigil along the border. Minister of State for Home G. Kishan Reddy said this while addressing the 59th Raising Day of Indo-Tibetan Border Police. He said the government has taken several steps to make ITBP more efficient and modern. He said the present government is committed to empowering ITBP.
ITBP को पूर्ण रूप से सशक्त बनाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है. ITBP को 47 बॉर्डर आउटपोस्ट स्थापित करने का केंद्र सरकार होम डिपार्टमेंट मंजूरी दे दी गई है.
Mr. Reddy said, apart from border security, ITBP is fighting terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, left-wing extremism in Chhattisgarh, and making significant contribution in peace mission abroad. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has greeted all ITBP personnel and their families on the 59th Raising Day. Mr. Singh said in a tweet that the ITBP is an extraordinary force which is keeping the borders safe. He said the force is known for its fortitude, perseverance and courage. In Jammu and Kashmir, the Srinagar-based Chinar Corps of Indian Army has tweeted that a Pakistan Army quadcopter DJI Mavic 2 Pro model has been shot down by the Army in Keran sector along the line of control in North Kashmir's Kupwara district this morning. Further details in this regard are awaited.
The Indian Navy has operationalized the first batch of 3 women pilots on Dornier aircraft by the Southern Naval Command SNC at Kochi. A report.
Country's first batch of women pilots are ready to soar high on Dornier aircraft. The 3 women pilots were part of the 6 pilots of the 27th Dornier Operational Flying Training Course. They graduated as fully operational maritime reconnaissance pilots at a passing out ceremony held at INS Garuda in Kochi on Thursday. Rear Admiral Anthony George, Chief Staff Officer of Southern Naval Command, presented awards to the pilots who are now fully qualified on Dornier aircraft for all operational missions. The 3 women pilots of the first batch are Lieutenant Divya Sharma, Lieutenant Shubhangi Swaroop and Lieutenant Shivangi. These officers had initially undergone basic flying training partly with Indian Air Force and partly with the Navy prior to the Dornier Operational Flying Training Course. Diksha Saxena, News Desk.
In Bihar, campaigning for the first phase of assembly elections has reached a feverish pitch. Star campaigners and senior leaders of all political parties are holding multiple election rallies in a single day to appeal to the voters. Campaigning for this phase ends on Monday. BJP President JP Nadda will hold 2 public meetings in Lakhisarai and Bihar Sharif. Senior leader and Union Minister Smriti Irani is also scheduled to hold rallies in Patna and Barauli. JDU President and CM Nitish Kumar will address 4 election rallies in Sahibpur Kamal, Alauli, Tegra and Vaishali. RJD leader Tejasvi Prasad Yadav will address 13 public meetings back-to-back in Jamui, Bhagalpur, Banka, Munger, Sheikhpura and Patna. Senior Congress leader and CM of Chhattisgarh Bhupesh Baghel will address rallies in Beldor, Kahalgaon and Nalanda. Leaders of other political parties are also making whirlwind tours in the poll-bound areas. Here is more from our correspondent.
Rashtriya Lok Samta Party Chief Upendra Kushwaha will hold election rallies and road shows in support of candidates of Grand Democratic Secular Front jointly with AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi. Releasing his party manifesto in Patna, Mr. Kushwaha said quality education and betterment of government school will be among his top priorities. He added every district will get a school on the line of Navodaya Vidyalaya and 5 Karpuri Thakur model schools will be opened in which students of backward caste will be groomed. Hindustani Awam Morcha Chief and former Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi also released its poll manifesto. He promised laptops to students and smartphones to common people. Addressing a rally in Jamira in Ara, CPI-ML Chief Dipankar Bhattacharya claimed that people of Bihar want a change of guard this time and support is swelling for Grand Alliance. CPI leader Kanhaiya Kumar addressed a public meeting at Khodavanpur in Begusarai. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
71 constituencies spread over 16 districts will go to polls on 28th October for the first phase of assembly elections in Bihar.
Rashtriya Janata Dal (RJD) has released its poll manifesto for Bihar Assembly elections today. The party promised 10 lakh jobs and unemployment allowance to jobless youth. The party leader and the chief ministerial candidate of Grand Alliance, Tejasvi Prasad Yadav, and other senior leaders of the party released the manifesto in Patna. The poll document of the party is full of promises and freebies to woo the young voters. It promises 1,500 rupees monthly allowance to jobless youth, no fee for government job applications, 85% of reservation in state government jobs to Bihar domiciled youth, farm loan waivers and ending outsourced jobs in government departments, among others. The manifesto also promises tax exemption for new industries in the state. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches Kisan Suryodaya Yojana in Gujarat for daytime power supply for irrigation, asserts the need to adopt the mantra of per drop, more crop. PM also inaugurates country's biggest cardiac hospital in Ahmedabad and world's longest temple ropeway at Junagadh in Girnar. Government approves setting up of 47 additional ITBP outposts to step up vigil along the border. Campaigning for the first phase of Bihar Assembly elections reaches a feverish pitch. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 89.78%. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion of Mahashtami. And in IPL, Kolkata Knight Riders and Delhi Capitals to clash in Abu Dhabi at 3:30 p.m. and Kings 11 Punjab to take on Sunrisers Hyderabad at 7:30 p.m. in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
The Health Ministry today said more than 70 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19 infection in the country. In the last 24 hours, more than 67,000 people have recovered. The ministry said 10 states and union territories are contributing 81% of the high number of daily recoveries. These states and union territories are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Delhi. These states also have more than 48% of the active caseload of the country. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 89.78%. The actual caseload currently comprises only 8.71% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is over 6,80,000. In the last 24 hours, 53,370 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 78 lakh. The ministry said India continues to report one of the lowest cases per million population. Currently, India's case fatality rate is 1.51%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 650 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,17,956. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 12,69,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has reached 10,13 lakh. The Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that the next 3 months are going to be decisive in determining the situation of COVID-19 in the country. He said if we take adequate precautions and follow COVID-appropriate behavior in the upcoming festival and winter season, we will be in a better position to fight the pandemic. The Health Minister said thrust should be on simple precautionary measures which are effective in preventing COVID-19.
जो विंटर्स आ रही है जिसमें कम से कम थ्योरेटिकली तो जरूर संभावना रहती है रेस्पिरेटरी वायरसेस के बढ़ने की और इस बात को ध्यान में रखने की आवश्यकता है। और दूसरा, अभी जो फेस्टिवल्स का सीजन शुरू हुआ है जिसके कारण सारे देश में लोगों को जो कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर है उसको निग्लेक्ट करके और इकट्ठा होने की संभावनाएं हैं। अगर अगले 3 महीने हमने प्रिकॉशंस, सावधानियां पूरा विजिलेंट रहकर और खासकर उसमें जो कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर की मैंने बात की कि अच्छी तरह से मास्क को लोगों को लगाने की आदत को स्मरण कराना, हैंड हाइजीन के बारे में, रेस्पिरेटरी एटिकेट्स के बारे में, 2 गज की दूरी के बारे में, भीड़ भाड़ के इलाकों को अवॉइड करने के बारे में और जहां तक हो सके फेस्टिवल्स को अपने परिवार के साथ घर में मनाने, ये सारी जो छोटी छोटी बातें इनको आग्रह पूर्वक सारे सरकारों को, सभी स्वयंसेवी संस्थाओं को, अधिकारियों को अपने अपने क्षेत्र में फैलाने की आवश्यकता है।
The Health Minister was interacting with the officials of Uttar Pradesh to review COVID-19 preparedness and measures for ensuring COVID-appropriate behavior.
In Bihar, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 94.32%. This is more than the national average. 1,244 patients have recovered during the past 24 hours, while 1,093 positive cases were reported. The number of active patients in the state is continuously decreasing. At present, 10,917 patients are undergoing treatment in various hospitals. 1,98,437 patients have recovered so far. Over 1 lakh corona tests are being undertaken in the state every day. 98,18,199 tests have been conducted so far. In Chandrapur district of Maharashtra, an 87-year-old homeopathic doctor has been overcoming various odds, including fear of getting infected from COVID-19 to treat people. The doctor provides home visits to patients. More from a correspondent.
The COVID-19 crisis has brought to the fore selfless service of individuals and organizations to provide a helping hand to the needy. One such tale is of Dr. Ramachandra Dandekar, who presents a shining example of altruistic behavior of an individual at the age of 87. The day of this octogenarian starts at 7 in the morning, wherein he rides his bicycle barefoot to cover a distance of 10 to 15 kilometers daily to visit the patients residing in Mool Taluka of Chandrapur district. On an average, he visits 2 to 3 villages before he returns home in the evening. Dr. Dandekar told AIR that since past 60 years he has been treating the patients, and even at this age he is fully motivated to treat those in need. Saying that there is no need to fear COVID-19, he asks people to take precautions of maintaining physical distance, wash hands regularly and to wear masks to prevent the infection. With Mangesh Bele from Chandrapur, Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
First woman from Madhya Pradesh to climb the Mount Everest, Megha Parmar has urged people to wear masks and follow social distancing to protect themselves from coronavirus.
जय हिंद, मेरा नाम मेघा परमार है और मैं मध्य प्रदेश की पहली लड़की हूँ जिसने माउंट एवरेस्ट समिट किया है। साथ ही सातों महाद्वीप में से 4 महाद्वीप के भी ऊंचे पर्वतों को मैंने फतह किया है और अभी वर्तमान समय में पूरे मध्य प्रदेश की बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ की ब्रांड एम्बेसडर हूँ। जिस तरह से पूरी दुनिया में भी महामारी फैली हुई है कोरोना, मैं आप सभी से निवेदन करती हूँ घर से बाहर निकलते समय हमेशा मास्क का उपयोग करें। हमेशा घर में अंदर आने के बाद हाथों को साफ पानी और साबुन से धोएं। सुरक्षा ही इसका एकमात्र उपाय है।
The air quality in Delhi NCR continues to remain in the very poor category. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, Delhi's air quality index was recorded at 344 at 10 this morning. An air quality index between 201 and 300 is considered poor, 301 to 400 very poor, and 401 to 500 severe. According to the System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research, SAFAR, the air quality will continue to remain in the very poor range, but without further deterioration. It said slow improvement in the current condition is expected by Monday.
BJP today said that it will ensure justice to the family of victim of the Hoshiarpur rape incident. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, senior BJP leader and Union Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said BJP wants justice be delivered in a timely manner. She also said no rape incident should be politicized. Ms. Sitharaman said all political parties together will have to make sure that the system responds in time and justice is delivered without delay in cases of rape.
The BJP stands with all those who want to give justice to this family in Hoshiarpur. I recall when it was something in Hathras in UP, 35 senior MPs of the party from all over the country, flamboyant in their statements in Twitter. Where are those 35 today? No sense of outrage? If it's a Bihari, Dalit child, because it is Punjab under Congress government, the BJP will stand for justice.
This is All India Radio giving you the news.
देखिए फिल्म जगत के कई मशहूर कलाकारों के साथ भगवान श्री राम के जन्म स्थान अयोध्या से रामलीला डीडी नेशनल पर लाइव 17 से 25 अक्टूबर रोज शाम 7 बजे से रात 10 बजे तक और इसका पुनः प्रसारण 18 से 26 अक्टूबर डीडी भारती पर सुबह 9 बजे से दोपहर 12 बजे तक और दोपहर 3 बजे से शाम 6 बजे तक डीडी नेशनल पर।
The President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister have greeted the people on the occasion of Maha-Ashtami. President Ramnath Kovind said in his message that respect for women, which has been the Indian tradition, is powerfully depicted in this festival. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said in a tweet that he hopes that Goddess Durga will bless people with her choicest blessings. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in a tweet that he prays that Ma Durga continues to bless us with all happiness, good health and prosperity. In Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has extended greetings to the people of the Union Territory on the occasion of Mahanavami and Dashehra. In his message, the Lieutenant Governor has prayed for peace, prosperity and development in Jammu and Kashmir.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 70th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, Doordarshan News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. The central government has approved a scheme for grant of ex gratia payment of difference between compound interest and simple interest for 6 months to borrowers in specified loan accounts to mitigate COVID-19 effect. According to Department of Financial Services, the scheme can be availed by borrowers in specified loan accounts for a period from 1st March to 31st of August. It said that borrowers who have loan accounts having sanctioned limits and outstanding amount of not exceeding 2 crore rupees will be eligible for the scheme.
Today is United Nations Day. The UN Day marks the anniversary of the entry into force in 1945 of the UN Charter. The year 2020 marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations and its founding charter. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, United Nations Resident Coordinator in India, Renata Dessalines, has said India deserves a permanent seat on the UN Security Council.
We have the UN Security Council with its 5 permanent veto-yielding members, which basically represent the global power structure after World War II. And yet they have a legally binding mandate. And so this is quite a big challenge. I mean, we have a central body with teeth that no longer represents the geopolitical realities of today. And as you know very well, India is very vocal on this, and rightly so. India certainly deserves, to have a permanent seat on the Security Council.
For the excerpts of the interview, listen to the Parikrama program on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 4:30 p.m. In IPL cricket, 2 matches will be played today. The first match between Kolkata Knight Riders and Delhi Capitals will begin at 3:30 p.m. in Abu Dhabi. The second match between Kings 11 Punjab and Sunrisers Hyderabad will begin at 7:30 p.m. in Dubai. In yesterday's match, defending champions Mumbai Indians defeated Chennai Super Kings by 10 wickets in Sharjah. Quinton de Kock and Ishan Kishan stitched an unbeaten partnership of 116 runs to help Mumbai Indians get across the line after the side was handed a paltry target of 115 runs. Earlier, after being asked to bat first, the MS Dhoni-led side was able to score only 114 runs in the allotted 20 overs.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa today reviewed the destruction caused by heavy rains in Bengaluru with the officials of Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike officials today. He directed the Municipal Commissioner Manjunath Prasad to clear waterlogging that has caused extensive hardship to citizens. The Chief Minister later visited Hoskedahalli, where waterlogging was reported yesterday. He interacted with people in the locality and assured them of resolving the waterlogging problem. Now let us take a look at the weather for the day. The national capital Delhi will see a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 34 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will see a generally cloudy sky with the possibility of development of thunder or lightning. The minimum temperature was 28 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai will see a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 28 degrees Celsius. On to Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Srinagar will see a mainly clear sky. The temperature will oscillate between 16 and 31 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, in Srinagar, the minimum temperature was 3 and maximum will be 23. In Muzaffarabad, the temperature will hover between 11 and 29 degrees Celsius. The town will see a mainly clear sky. Gilgit will see a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be 26 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad will see a partly cloudy sky with haze. The minimum temperature was 20 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 32 degrees Celsius. Ahmedabad will see a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 38 degrees Celsius.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Senior physician, Safdarjung Hospital, Dr. M.K. Sen, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches Kisan Suryodaya Yojana in Gujarat for daytime power supply for irrigation. Asserts the need to adopt the mantra of per drop more crop. PM also inaugurates country's biggest cardiac hospital in Ahmedabad and world's longest temple ropeway at Junagadh in Girnar. Government approves setting up of 47 additional ITBP outposts to step up vigil along the border. Campaigning for the first phase of Bihar Assembly elections reaches a feverish pitch. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 89.78%. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on occasion of Maha Ashtami, and in IPL, Kolkata Knight Riders and Delhi Capitals to clash in Abu Dhabi at 3:30 p.m. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website, newsonair.com. With that, we end the Midday News.